Hey, everybody. Welcome to Moment of Clarity. Because I was not joined by the amazing Eleanor Goldfield on this past Saturday, she is here with me now. Also, because we are both sick and both feel like dog shit, the hope was that each of us having half a brain may combine to form a single human brain. That's the goal, the hope, the dream.
Yeah.
Are you in the stream with me or no? Am I going the stream alone?
Well, I'm in a parallel dream. My dream's a little different.
Well, welcome everybody. More U.S. cities are facing water boiling advisories, which we'll get into in 1 minute. I just want to remind everybody, we're also, because we are, not at 100%. I'm at like 36, 37%. What do you feel you're at?
I don't do the maths. I'm just
23%. No, you're actually 45%. So, because of that, we're only going to do half an hour. But this half an hour is going to be jam-packed with tons of snot. All right, so we're going to get to those stories in 1 second. Please, if you have a second, click thumbs up and like and share. And then after we're done here, please join leecamp.net to be part of the community there. And also, I am performing in London, Berlin, and Stockholm coming up in October. And Eleanor will be opening the Stockholm and Berlin shows. George Galloway in London will be doing live government secrets as well as stand-up comedy. So for all of that, you can get tickets at leecamp.com, which is the other site, not the one on the screen there, leecamp.net. But leecamp.com, click schedule, has all the tickets. All right. Let's get into how more cities. I talked about Jackson, Mississippi the other day. We'll keep referencing them. They're having a fucking terrible time. The water is undrinkable, unusable, and many of them don't have any water at all. You turn the faucet on, nothing comes out, which I feel like is step one to water. Have something come out of the faucet.
Although if you see the pictures of what was coming out of the faucets, I
you wouldn't
prefer not,
right?
Because it's literally like dark brown, black water is what it is.
So on top of Jackson, there's now water boiling advisories in Baltimore and other cities as well. Baltimore's the one that just happened.
So I just want to start off by pointing out that Baltimore. So it's West Baltimore, and and Jackson, Mississippi have roughly the same percentage Black population. In West Baltimore, 83% of the population is Black, and in Jackson, it's around 80%. That's not a coincidence,
right?
That is obviously by design. People of color, Black folks, Indigenous folks are far more likely to live in what are known as sacrifice zones, or places that just have much shittier infrastructure, which is obviously these places. So basically, the article that Lee was just screen sharing a second ago was showing that there was an E. coli outbreak in the water system in West Baltimore, so folks were told to boil the water. Now, some people are like, fuck that, I'm not going to drink water, regardless of how long I fucking boil it, if it's got E. coli in it. And this article is pointing out that there have not been any updates in the past day. This just came out, as you can see, an hour ago. So people are, there are pickup stations for water. There are places, there's mutual aid networks and things like that. But basically, the Department of Public Works was like, I don't know. I mean, there's like shit bacteria in your water, and I don't know. I don't know. Don't drink it, boil it. I don't know what to say. Please see Jackson, Mississippi suggestions, and we're number one. So this is a trend, right? This has been happening for many years. People will likely remember Flint, Michigan. That became like a big story, but Flint, Michigan was not even the first, and it certainly is not the last, obviously, to have water and contamination issues. And I just wanted to throw this into focus. I actually tweeted about this yesterday, but I wanted to throw it into focus in terms of what we're looking at on a larger scale. So Basically, there's been an EPA estimate that showed that in order to replace the lead pipes, and that's just lead pipes, so that would deal with for instance, the Flint, Michigan issue. That would deal with a lot of issues, but it wouldn't deal with like the water processing issue that was happening in Jackson, or that seems to be happening in West Baltimore. So lead pipes would require somewhere between 28 to 47 billion dollars, which that's quite a range. But basically, in the latest bill, the Build Back Better bill, 15 billion was given to addressing lead pipes in the United States. That is laughably low.
Can I just add a fact
Sure,
before you continue on?
Yes.
So this is from this article is from a couple of years ago. Reuters found that 3,810 U.S. areas, as in counties or neighborhoods, had lead poisoning, double Flint, Michigan's. Reuters had obtained neighborhood lead level blood lead testing results for 34 states in the District of Columbia. This data allows the public its first hyper-local look at communities where children tested positive for lead exposure in recent years, while the number of children with high lead levels had plummeted across the U.S. since lead paint was taken off the market and leaded gasoline was phased out in the 70s and 80s. Clearly, there is a new culprit to high lead levels, and that is the water. Reuters has identified 3,810 neighborhood areas with recently recorded childhood lead poisoning rates at least double what was found in Flint, Michigan during the peak of the city's water contamination. I mean, that's so fucking insane, because Flint, thank goodness, became a national story. And meanwhile, there are almost 4,000 areas around the country where the lead is double what it is in Flint, which was already toxic.
Well, there's no safe level of lead, so I'd argue any fucking level is toxic, particularly because it, it accumulates. And here's a very important little tidbit of information, is that you can't, and this is also valid because a lot of these places that are now on a boil water advisory also have lead pipes. Something that's really twisted is when you boil water and it has lead in it, the lead concentration actually increases because some of the water evaporates, meaning that the concentration in the water that's left is higher. So
boiling water does not get rid of lead.
No, it gives you more lead. So think about how fucked up that is that there are places that are under a boil water advisory that are also dealing with lead pipes and lead in their water, and therefore are getting more lead in their water after boiling it.
So what you need to do is you're going to want to boil it for about 15, 30 minutes. Then you're going to want to get one of those giant magnets that picks up cars, and you're going to want to run that over the water. Obviously, the water can't be in a metal pot when you do that, or the whole thing will lift up. So you need to have it in like a ceramic pot, and you lift that giant, massive car magnet over there, and you suck out all the particles of lead, and then you'll have a couple of teaspoons of water left to drink right there.
I like it.
Easy.
I like it.
Easy peasy. Someone was asking whether the water is, and I guess they were talking about Baltimore, but in general, is privatized. And it's like, no, most of it is not privatized. And, some people, the people who want to say, oh, all government is bad, point to this and they go, see, government is bad. Private corporations are good. Private corporations give you clean water. Government gives you dirty water. And it's like the destruction of the public infrastructure for water is being done intentionally by the ruling class because they want to privatize the water. So what do you do to make it look bad, to make it collapse? Well, you don't fix it. You fucking don't fund it. And you just let people drink dirty water. And then you have corporations jump in and go, hey, we're here for you. Here's a bottle of water.
And this is also across the board in terms of how water is contaminated. It's not just lead pipes, of course. You have, runoff from dirty energy projects. You have, these E. coli, like the water processing issues. And so lead pipes are a huge fucking problem in the US, but it's not the only problem, which leads me to the next point, which I also shared yesterday, that a 2017 report card from the American Society of Civil Engineers gave the nation's drinking water infrastructure a rating of D.
Now, in this scenario, is D good or bad?
You,
Inquiring minds want to
you
know.
strike me as the kind of student who would have asked your like math teacher that. Now tell me, is D good or bad?
When you say D, do you mean doing awesome?
Now
Is that what D stand for?
I would like to know in the American grading system, why the fuck isn't there an E?
I don't know. It doesn't make any sense to me.
No one has been able to answer that question
Yeah.
for me.
No,
Okay.
it doesn't.
All right.
It doesn't make
Thank
any
you.
sense.
Thank you for your time.
And
So-
the A plus and minus. Why did we take it from a letter to now a math
I know.
sign?
I know. Get your math shit away from my letters is what I say. So a rating of D.
A rating of E. Coli.
Exactly. And the American Society of Civil Engineers estimated that the US would need to invest $1 trillion over 25 years for upgrades to address this problem. Now that includes runoff, that includes lead pipes, that includes water processing plants that don't fucking process water well. It includes the entire infrastructure. And that sounds like a lot until you realize that that's $1 trillion over the course of 25 years. And in 1 year, we spend officially $800 billion on the military alone. So I need one of those Steven Semler graphs here, but like 800 billion in 1 year compared to 1 trillion over 25 years. Like,
Yeah.
I'm lacking like the appropriate verbiage to really.
Fucking criminals is the appropriate verbiage.
Yeah.
Yeah. They're fucking criminals, and
Yeah.
they're sociopaths, and that's why they give money to the giant money laundering scheme that is the military-industrial complex, to the tune of close to $1 trillion a year once you add in the black budget, which makes it even more than 800 billion.
Yep.
And $1 trillion a year is completely unfathomable, and it could do that amount of money could do everything that we want to do.
Mhm.
Not to mention, of course, the United States can print however much money we want to. So there's not actually we don't have enough money.
I
That's
know.
bullshit. That's always been bullshit.
I just like doing the comparison because
Yeah,
I think it
No, I
throws
agree.
into focus like, oh my god, $1 trillion over 25 years, that's so much. Not really when you think of, the shit we spend money on every year. So
So to sum up this topic real quick, I feel like the reason this topic is important is not just because thinking of the people in Baltimore and the people in Jackson, Mississippi and everywhere else, but it's like this is the most basic level of what a government should do for its people. The most basic level, the fucking bottom of the barrel is breathable air and drinkable water. Like that is like bottom feeding level. And yet they can't even do that. They can't even supply people with fucking breathable air and drinkable water. And in fact, a third of this country over the past summer was told not to go outside because it's too hot, meaning the outdoors is toxic. So when your government is doing nothing about the fact that the outside world is toxic for you and the water coming out of your sink is toxic for you, that's a sign that this government is garbage, it's shit, and it's not doing anything for anyone except the incredibly rich. And it's not just the Biden administration. It is both sides of our one-party system. It is the entire inverted totalitarian system of rule by the corporate state. They don't give a shit about any of these people. They don't give a shit if you're drinking tainted water. They don't give a shit if you can't go outdoors. And they think their money is going to save them as the planet becomes increasingly unlivable.
amen.
Thank you. And with that, we're going on to our next topic, but we are also going to just be at rumble.com/Lee Camp. That's rumble.com/Lee Camp. It is free to, someone's telling me lead is not magnetic. Well, it was a joke anyway. So
Guys, well,
you
hold on.
don't want to overanalyze a joke.
Even
So-
if, let's say that it was magnetic, do you think that little system that he said was going to work? Like, come on, y'all. He's a comedian. Don't take it so literally. I swear there's somebody at home like trying to boil that shit and has like a thing like, I'm going to do it. I'm going to do it. I got it. Lee told me.
Lee told me as long as I get the car magnet, he's taking it to a car dumpster site, no, not dumpster, landfill site, and he's holding his crock pot of water up underneath the giant magnet. Anyway, so it's free to go watch at rumble.com/Lee Camp, where we're heading over there now, and I hope everybody will become a member at leecamp.net as well. Please do that. All right, let's continue at rumble.com/Lee Camp. So this next story is about